Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to sift through the sources and pull out those unexpected gems just for you. Today, we're zeroing in on a country many think they know, but, well, it's packed with surprises. When you hear Turkey, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Maybe Turkish delight, a beautiful mosque, or even the bird.
Yeah, those are definitely the common ones. But they honestly just scratch the surface. Turkey is just brimming with these hidden wonders, and such a profound history that often gets overlooked. It's a place where centuries of different civilizations have met, leaving behind these incredible layers of stories and, frankly, some really unexpected facts.
And that's exactly our mission here. We've been digging into our source material, unveiling Turkey's hidden wonders, a crossroads of civilizations. We want to unpack why this nation really stands uniquely at the crossroads of the world. So get ready for some aha moments about this fascinating place, especially how its geography and history really shaped its identity. Okay, let's start with something fundamental and honestly a bit mind-bending. Turkey is one of the very few countries on Earth that literally spans two continents, Europe and Asia. I mean, can you even really picture that? Standing in two continents at once?
It's quite the geographical marvel, yeah. And what's really fascinating is how you see this play out daily, especially in Istanbul. The city itself is split right down the middle. The Bosphorus Strait does that. It connects the Black Sea to the Sea of Marmara. So this means you can, literally hop on a ferry.
Just like that.
Just like that. And in minutes, you've gone from the Asian side of Istanbul to the European side. Or the other way around. It's a normal commute for millions, a constant sort of reminder of this divide. And even though most of Turkey's landmass is actually in Asia, its historical heart, its cultural weight, it's always been about being that bridge, a vital link, culturally, historically, politically, connecting East and West for, well, millennia. Not just physically, but in terms of ideas, trade, everything.
Right. And speaking of Istanbul, that brings us straight to a really common misconception. If you ask most people, what's the capital of Turkey? Almost everyone says Istanbul. It just feels like the capital, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. I mean, it's iconic. It was the capital of empires. It's huge. But yeah, surprise, it's not the capital.
So what is?
The actual capital of Turkey is Ankara. And its rise is, relatively speaking, a modern story, mostly the 20th century. Its selection was very strategic, very symbolic. It was Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, the founder of modern Turkey, who chose it.
Why Ankara, though?
Well, he picked Ankara, which is centrally located in Anatolia, quite deliberately to break away from the Ottoman past, which Istanbul represented, as the old imperial capital. It symbolized a fresh start, a modern secular republic with a new center of power distinct from the old ways. So it wasn't just about location. It was about shaping a whole new national identity.
Wow. Okay, so from redefining national identity, let's jump to something that basically rewrites global history. This is where it gets really interesting. We're talking about a discovery that might make you rethink, well, everything about the dawn of civilization. Forget Stonehenge for a second, forget the pyramids.
Exactly. Turkey is home to this extraordinary site, Göbekli Tepe. And it's not just old, it's believed to be over 12,000 years old.
12,000?
12,000 years. That makes it the world's oldest known temple complex. It predates Stonehenge by about 7,000 years, the pyramids by over 6,000. It's staggering. And what's truly profound about Göbekli Tepe, why it's rewriting history books, is what it implies about early human society. You see, for decades, the standard theory was that organized religion, complex societies, they only came after humans started farming.
That makes sense, right? Settle down, grow food, get a surplus, then you build temples.
That was the logic, yes. Farming first, then cities, then complex stuff like religion and big monuments. But Göbekli Tepe flips that completely upside down. This site, these massive, intricately carved pillars, they were built by hunter-gatherers before agriculture took hold.
Hunter-gatherers built something that complex.
Exactly. Imagine the cooperation needed. Quarrying, moving, carving these huge stones, some weighing 20 tons, for a pre-farming society. It strongly suggests that maybe organized religion, or at least a powerful shared belief system, came first. That the need to come together for these massive religious projects might have actually pushed people towards settling down, towards developing agriculture to support these large gatherings.
So religion might have sparked farming, not the other way around.
It's a radical idea, but Göbekli Tepe points strongly in that direction. It really challenges our basic assumptions about how civilization progressed.
Mind-blowing is definitely the word. Okay, sticking with unexpected origins, how about Santa Claus? You picture the North Pole, right? Reindeer, snow.
Right, that's the image. But nope, think again, it's absolutely true. The original figure, St. Nicholas, the one who inspired our modern Santa. He was born in the 3rd century AD in an ancient city called Patara. And where's Patara? Modern-day Turkey.
Yeah.
Good. He later became a bishop nearby, in Myra, also in Turkey. Known for his incredible kindness, generosity, leaving secret gifts for the poor. His story spread, evolved over centuries, and boom, Santa Claus. It's pretty amazing to think of this Christmas icon having roots in, the sunny, historical lands of Turkey. It shows another layer of its ancient Christian history, too, before Islam became dominant.
That is truly unexpected. Okay, from one beloved icon, let's shift smoothly to another. Also beloved in Turkey, but maybe a bit furrier. Cats. If you ever visit Istanbul, you'll see it instantly. It's basically the land of cats. They're everywhere. On the streets, in shops, I've even heard inside mosques.
Oh, definitely. Their presence is undeniable. And it's much more than just, stray animals hanging around. Turks have this really profound respect, this affection for cats. They often call them spiritual guardians of the city.
Spiritual guardians.
Yeah. It's not just about feeding them, though people do that constantly. It's a deep cultural thing, goes back to Ottoman times. Cats were seen as clean, favored animals. There's actually a fantastic documentary, world famous, called Kedi. It captures this unique bond between Istanbul's people and its cats perfectly. It shows they're not just animals, they're like part of the city's identity, its soul. They bring comfort, companionship. They're integral.
Fascinating. Okay, now let's switch gears a bit to something many people do instantly link with Turkey. Turkish coffee, you've probably had it. Maybe even tried the fortune-telling thing with the grounds. It's pretty iconic.
It is iconic, definitely, and for good reason. But there's a little historical twist here. Interestingly, coffee itself didn't actually start in Turkey.
Really?
The beans, the first ways of preparing it, that traces back to Yemen around the 16th century.
Right.
But what the Ottomans did was revolutionary for coffee. They refined the brewing method, that thick, strong, distinctive coffee we know. That's their innovation.
So they perfected it.
Exactly. The superfine grind, the slow brewing in that special pot, the şezfe, getting that frothy top. That was the Ottoman touch. And it became huge culturally. Coffee houses popped up, becoming centers for socializing, art, intellectual debate. It was more than just a drink. It became so important that UNESCO, back in 2013, actually declared Turkish coffee culture an intangible cultural heritage of humanity.
Wow, UNESCO recognition. That's significant.
It really shows its cultural weight.
Okay, and from a culturally rich drink to a mesmerizing cultural and spiritual practice. The whirling dervishes, if you've ever seen them. It's just hypnotic, stays with you.
It truly is unforgettable. That spiritual dance is called the Sema. It was created by followers of the famous 13th century poet and theologian Rumi. Rumi spent much of his life in Konya, in Turkey. And this isn't a performance for tourists, not originally anyway. It's a profound meditation, a form of remembrance, Dikr, for the Mevlevi Sufi order.
So it's deeply spiritual.
Deeply. Every part is symbolic. The flowing white robes, the arms outstretched, one towards heaven receiving grace, the other towards earth, channeling it to humanity. It's all aimed at achieving this state of connection, of union with the divine. And if you connect that back to the bigger picture, Turkey as a crossroads, it just powerfully highlights these deep spiritual and philosophical currents that have shaped Turkish culture for centuries, drawing from mystical Islamic traditions.
Right. Staying with deep history, let's talk legends, epic legends. Trojan War, the Trojan Horse, stories we all know from Homer, but the actual city of Troy, that's in Turkey.
Absolutely. The archaeological site of ancient Troy is right there in Turkey, near Sanakal on the northwest coast. You can actually go and visit the ruins. Archaeologists have found like 9 different cities built one on top of the other over thousands of years.
9 cities.
Standing there, it really hits you how Greek mythology, ancient history, it's all physically tied to Turkish soil. Another powerful example of Turkey being this meeting point of civilizations and their stories.
And speaking of Turkish identity, let's touch on the language itself. It has a very distinct sound.
It does. Turkish belongs to the Turkic language family. It's a huge group stretching way east into Central Asia. So it connects Turkey to a much wider cultural sphere. But here's maybe one of the most radical changes in its modern history. For centuries, Turkish was written using the Arabic script.
Right, like Ottoman Turkish?
Exactly. But then, in 1928, Ataturk, as part of his massive modernization drive, made a revolutionary change. He switched the entire writing system to a Latin-based alphabet, similar to what we use in English.
Overnight, just like that.
Pretty much. Imagine waking up one day and needing to learn a whole new way to read and write your own language. It was huge. It wasn't just about linguistics. It was a strategic move. Boost literacy quickly, align Turkey more closely with Western nations, make a clean break from the Ottoman past. It fundamentally changed daily life, education, everything, really embodying that vision for a modern nation.
That is incredible to think about. So, okay, we've covered continents, ancient temples, Santa, cats, coffee, dervishes, Troy, language reform. Given all these layers, what else? What other surprising firsts or global connections does Turkey hold that we might not realize?
Well, for one, Turkey was a pioneer in advanced healthcare and education, way earlier than many might think. The world's first known university hospital, the Gevher-Nasibi Hospital, was set up in Kayseri, Turkey, back in the 13th century.
13th century, a university hospital.
Yeah, and it wasn't just a basic clinic. It was this integrated medical complex, hospital, medical school, even a mental institution, really emphasizing holistic care centuries ago. Shows an early commitment to learning and compassionate healthcare. And if we loop back to Istanbul for a second, just think about this. One city, known historically as Constantinople, was the capital of three massive successive empires.
Roman, Byzantine, Ottoman.
Exactly. Roman, Byzantine, and Ottoman. That makes it one of the most historically dense, strategically vital cities on the planet. A living record of global power shifts and cultural mixing there for over 1,600 years.
Truly a nexus point. Okay, how about a more modern connection? Maybe something edible.
Ah, yes. This was fun and probably affects your pantry. Turkey produces a massive amount, about 70% of the world's hazelnuts.
70%?
70%. So next time you grab a handful of hazelnuts or maybe, spread some Nutella on your toast, chances are extremely high those hazelnuts came from Turkey. It's not just a sweet fact, it highlights Turkey's huge role in agriculture and global supply chains, things we don't often think about. It connects this ancient land directly to your breakfast table in a really tangible way.
Wow. Ooh, okay, we have certainly covered a lot of ground today. I mean, really covered ground, from literally spanning continents to hosting temples that rewrote history, being the prize home of Santa, the land of spiritual cats. It's definitely clearer than ever that Turkey is so much more than those first few images that pop into our heads.
Absolutely. This dive really shows, I think, that Turkey isn't just a country. It's like a living museum of civilizations. It's this vibrant meeting point where East meets West, where ancient history, deep spirituality, and dynamic modernity aren't just existing side by side. They're actively interacting, dancing together in this really unique way. It's a testament to all the layers of human history on that land.
So the next time you think of Turkey, we really hope you'll look beyond, the delicious kebabs and the amazing bazaars, as wonderful as they are. Because underneath all that, there's just this incredible depth waiting, a rich tapestry that has profoundly shaped the world we know.
And maybe this raises a final thought, a question for you, our listener. What other places or cultures or even ideas do we think we know really well?
Yeah.
But actually have these hidden depths, these surprising stories, these profound connections, just waiting to be discovered. If we just, take the time to look a little closer, to dig a bit deeper, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.